Alright guys, welcome back. Alright, so today we're going to try to finish up fixing the steering. The other day I went ahead and loosened up the tie rod ends on each of the wheels and basically moved them in closer as much as possible. I clocked the steering wheel 90 degrees to the left because that's what I know that it's off by, so that way that the wheels were slightly sticking out left and right, and I just needed to move in the tie rods a little bit. I was able to get them straightened out like that, but the steering wheel was still turned to the left about 90 degrees. So what I gotta do is I just already pulled out the steering shaft right here. So this is the end that goes into the steering column, and this end goes into the steering rack, aside from this little U-joint right here. So you can kind of see this one's, we kind of broke it a lot just to try to see if we can take it apart, because we want to take that shaft in out, but this thing's pretty sturdy. There's some way to get it out of there. I think it's kind of just pressed in there, but it didn't want to come out. Anyways though, so this end right here, you kind of see, so it looks kind of like a hex type slot. You can see right here, and like each one of these links, it has the thread or the hole for the screw. So this only goes on one way, like that, kind of, some way somehow, and then that end goes in one way where that screw goes, and then this end goes in one way into the steering column. This, as far as I can tell, doesn't come off. These also go in one way because of the screw. So the only way to really turn this 90 degrees so it can go on is this piece right here. This shaft is slid into this end, then they kind of like press down on it. So I let it soak with a little bit of like rust buster and penetrating fluid. So this shaft end right here is really the only way to rotate it 90 degrees. So you have to take out that end from this end, so that shaft just kind of slides into that. So what I'm going to do with this is, now I pulled it off earlier, like the other day. I was trying to hammer at it, see if it would just come pry off, but it's on there pretty good. So what I'm gonna do instead is this cherry picker I have right here. I'm gonna take it, drop the legs down. I'm gonna somehow find a way to strap this end down, and then take this end right here. I'm gonna bolt it onto there with the bolt that it came with, and then I'm gonna put the chain through here and try to jack it up and pry this end off. Once I got that end off, rotate it 90 degrees. I checked it from each angle I can think of. If I clock either one of these at 90 degrees clockwise, it should be good to go. I can throw it back on. The wheels will be straight again, and then we'll be good to go from there. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to set that up and try to pry it off, and then we can go from there. Alright guys, so quick update. So I got this contraption set up. So I used a chain. I fed that U-joint into that end of the shaft. And then I took a strap, strapped it down on this end, then strapped it back to itself, so that way it kind of holds a little bit tighter. So it's coming along fairly well. I got maybe a quarter of an inch of it out. I just kind of like jack it up a little bit, and then I hit it with the hammer right on that U-joint, so that way not to damage the shaft itself, and just work its way out. I've been using a lot of penetrating fluid. I got the liquid wrench right here, and it's been working wonders. So I'm gonna keep at it. Once I get the shaft out, rotate it 90 degrees. I think I might have hit it a few times. I can see right there, but should be fine. I might be able to find the other one, because it did have the other one from the original. So gonna take this off and then rotate it, or maybe even try to find the other one, put that one on there, and then get ready to throw it on the car, try to get it out for a test drive. Alright, sweet. Good news, came right off. Bad news, I forgot which way it was oriented because I forgot to mark it before I took it off. So now I'm not sure which way it's supposed to go on. So I'm gonna look at some pictures I took of it before I started doing this, and hopefully rotate it the correct way. Otherwise I'm gonna have to throw it in the car not tightening anything down, but make sure everything is straight, and then go from there. Hopefully get it on the road for a little bit here before the night ends. Alright, so I did a quick comparison, kind of like mocking up what it would look like in the car going down the shaft, and then I just looked at the end on the steering rack and it looked at which way that notch is supposed to face. So fortunately, when I smacked it off, I quickly grabbed it and it was able to stay in the position that it was originally in. So all I had to do is rotate it 90 degrees to the right, or clockwise, like I was originally planning. I just didn't do it yet because I wasn't sure if it was going to be facing the right way. After it came out, it might have turned, might have been already turned 90 degrees, so I didn't want to have to hammer it on, just have to take it off again and then do it all over again. But did that, it was good to go. So I used the hammer to hammer it back into the other shaft, threw it on right now. So I put the steering wheel straight, put the end that goes to the steering column on, and then I came down here, slid on, put the bolt through, steering wheel is straight, everything is bolted up, as you will see here in a second. So steering wheel straight, wheel straight. I'm going to turn this to the left and the wheel moves. Perfect. Now I'm still need to tighten everything else down. I still need to tighten those bolts down, but for the time being, we're good to go. Steering wheel straight, wheels are straight. It should be ready here to get on the road hopefully soon. I just gotta make sure everything's tightened down, ready to go, and then we'll go from there. Alright, moment of truth. I fixed the steering rack, that's all bolted on. Last thing I gotta do is, once I drop it down, finish adjusting the tie rods and then lock the lock nut in place, so that way the tie rods stay in the position they're in. And tightening down the steering wheel, it's on there tight, but it's not completely tightened down. So once I do that, drop it down, tighten down the lug nuts, and then we should be good to go. Do a quick test drive. Hopefully everything goes well. So the steering wheel is bolted down, tightened down. The tie rod ends are adjusted, aligned by the eye. It's, let's say it's pretty close. Maybe just slightly off. But that's tightened down. So next step is to get this off the jack stands and tighten the wheel lug nuts down and take it out for a drive. Ooh, look at that. Yeah, she's looking good. I gotta tighten down these wheels, start her up. There's a few wheels or tires I gotta fill up with air because they're a little low. Aside from that, there she is. It's coming together all right. So we're gonna tighten down the wheels, fill them with air, double check all the fluids, and then take her out for a quick spin, see how it goes. Alright, sweet. That was the first drive. She drove pretty good. Brakes are still kind of mushy, very scary. They are currently making noise, so they need to be lubricated, because I think I missed lubricating some of these. But lubricated, bolt some stuff down. Definitely don't forget lights underneath the car. I forgot one of the lights under here, but it was held on by a magnet. Surprisingly enough, it held. Didn't fall off. So fortunately, my big stupid didn't do anything to the car. But she drives, she goes pretty good, goes into gear real smoothly. Clutch feels nice. Now I just gotta throw the interior back together. Try to figure out that check engine code. So I have a check engine for the evap. I'm assuming it's that line that goes from the right side of the fuel tank back to the fuel filler neck. Since the fuel filler neck wouldn't fit from that one, I used the stock, or I guess the original fuel filler neck, which doesn't have that tap off of it. So I'm gonna try to find a way to modify it so that way I have a connection straight back into that line. So that way hopefully that clears that check engine light for that code. That's the only thing I can think of it being. Aside from that, start working on all the wiring. Throw the AC condenser on. I still need to get a replacement line on this side because one of the lines was bent to the point where it's not usable. So I just gotta buy a new one of those. I have the 2 grommets right here for the, what's it called? I have the 2 grommets for the firewall where the wire harness goes through into the inside of the car. So I gotta cut these up and then attach the original from the 11 to these that were for this body style. I don't think the speedometer was working, which is odd because it's supposed to work with this. It could be that something got messed up in it, so I'm gonna have to check that fuse, make sure it's properly grounded, which I'm pretty sure it's grounded right here, and it has power. Maybe I just missed it and it was reading a speed. Maybe I was just going too slow for it to be noticeable. Once I start working on everything else and put it back in, I'll double check it, make sure it's all good to go, and then maybe even check underneath, make sure whatever this it's supposed to be tapping off of for speed is still working. Because actually I don't know what goes into making this little module work for the speedometer while using the 256. So I'm gonna look into that, what it needs to tap off of. It could be one of the lines that got cut and that's why it's not reading a speed. So I'm gonna look into what it takes to install one of these on a Tremec car and then try to get the speedometer fixed. Otherwise, everything else seems to be good to go. It's still throwing an ABS light. I'm not sure why. I'm gonna try to see if I can clear the codes and then start it up again, see if they go away. Airbag lights are on, but obviously because the airbag lights or the airbags are in, and there's also a sensor up here that I don't have plugged in, so I need to get a new one of those. Brakes are being pretty temperamental. Definitely gonna take the wheels off, lubricate all the surfaces again, so that way they're riding a little bit smoother. That was really the only noise I think I was hearing while I was driving is the brakes. Once I get that fixed, she's gonna be that much closer to getting back on the road. I would say that was a pretty successful first drive. She felt good. She revved strong. Man, I didn't think I was gonna see the day that I would get her back on the road. It was a good feeling, for sure. Alright, I guess that's going to be it for today. I'm going to clean up. There's not really much of a mess I left out, just small things I needed to do to get this car on the road. But now, time to celebrate, relax a little bit. Tomorrow morning, start bright and early, start throwing everything else back together, throw the interior and start working on the wiring. And then get this car completed, hopefully by the end of the month. I don't know, we'll see. We'll see how much progress we make. There's still a lot of stuff, other stuff I got to do to kind of like touch it up, make sure it's all good to go. But as far as today, that's really about it. Thank you guys for watching. It's been an amazing time working on this Coyote swap. It's been a lot of fun. All the people who helped me throughout the way, they've been a huge influence towards me trying to get this project done. And getting it this much closer, that first drive is that much closer to getting his car back on the road and getting of course, back on the track, you know. You gotta race it, break it, fix it, repeat. That's just the motto. So again, thank you guys for watching. There'll be more videos soon here to come. So stay tuned, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.